I'd like to think we had a good time all being confused together as a group at some of the ratings that Madden has released in their top 5s this year, and towards the end there was a running joke in the comments about the most ridiculous top 5s, and there were some good ones like the top 5 fullbacks, which in fairness really could have been one, the top 5 long snappers, and then I saw this comment. I just want to see the top 5 equipment managers. Now some people, actually probably most people, would just take this as the good joke it was. Well, I took it as a challenge, and because Madden refuses to create ratings for the men who really run the show, here is my list of the top 5 equipment managers in the NFL. And at number 1 we have Ed Skiba, the assistant equipment manager for the New York Giants. Now he's got an overall of 96, which is pretty darn good. He also has 90 equipment managing, 45 throw power and 32 throw accuracy. Skiba is an important piece of the Giants franchise. You may have heard about him as the guy who throws balls to Odell Beckham during warm-ups. Basically, he throws Beckham bad balls before the game, and then catching passes from Manning becomes a lot easier. Where would the Giants be without Skiba? Who knows, but I would guess around 2-14. Moving on to number 2, and we have Joey Barranco, the assistant equipment manager of the Titans. Looking at his stats, he's got a 94 overall, so a little drop, but a decent equipment managing rating of 87, as well as draft selection submitting of 92, and an ability to ruin the franchise rating of 65, which is significantly higher than most guys. Barranco made the news after it was announced that he and team videographer Anthony Pastrana would be submitting the Titans draft picks at this year's draft. Once they were told who the Titans were picking, they had to fill out the draft card and submit it, which isn't that easy. Back in the 1982 draft, Tampa Bay Buccaneers equipment manager Pat Maccucciolo was given the same task and managed to draft the wrong player at number 17 overall. A link to that story is in the description. On to number 3, and it's Ted Walsh. After 2 current guys, we've had to go back in time, but it's worth it, as Ted Walsh is pretty much the sole reason Jerry Rice and Steve Young are in the Hall of Fame. Okay, that's an over-exaggeration, but it's not far off the truth. It turns out when Montana left the 49ers and Young took over, Rice had some issues adapting to the spin of the ball given by left-handed Young. That's where Ted Walsh stepped in. Walsh was also left-handed and would throw to Rice in practice until he got used to the different spin. He has an overall of 93, an equipment managing of 88, Vince Young-like throwingness of 91, and a smudges all his writing if using ink rating of 87. At number 4 is Steve Belichick, coming in with a 93 overall. Now this is a great story. So Bill Belichick's father, Steve, was an equipment manager for the Detroit Lions in 1941, and as the case has been so often, the Lions weren't very good at the time, and apparently Steve went to the coach and told him he could play better than half of those guys, and ended up getting signed as a fullback. He scored 3 touchdowns, one of those being a 65-yard punt return against the Giants. He gets 70 equipment managing because he didn't even have the job that long, 80 carrying, 78 ball carrier vision, and 89 trucking. Finally, at number 5, we have John Jastrzebski with a low overall of 22. John was the equipment manager at the center of the whole deflated football saga concerning the New England Patriots, and now I'm staying neutral in this. Whether or not it was done intentionally, the fact stands that John Jastrzebski wasn't very good at his job. Either he's bad at looking after footballs, or he's bad at breaking the rules and getting away with it. Either one doesn't win him any favors at the Tough Rating Center here at Beardmohbox headquarters. He gets an equipment managing rating of 12, a football specialization of 14, and gets death stares from everybody nowadays rating of 75. And that rounds off this list of the top 5 equipment managers. Join me next week where we look at the top 3 referees as well as the top 2 NFL mascots. Also, I should mention that there is actually an Equipment Manager of the Year award which is voted on by all 32 equipment managers. What a time to be alive.